invite my friend from UK, Mr. Neville.
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everybody. It's the 5th of January. Yes, these videos are time recorded. Why? Because it's a new year. So, the subjects for today, I've been thinking about this a lot, CK. So I thought we'd do New Year's resolutions.
Well, you really want to do that, Neville?
Well, the funny thing is that your immediate response is to laugh and then ask me a question, which is brilliant. Why'd you laugh, CK? Everyone does New Year's resolutions, don't they?
To be very frank with you, I stopped making resolution many years back because when you make the resolution, it never gets fulfilled. So why make them?
Well, the funny thing is, CK, you're a can-do person, and we know that can-do people are great performers. I say it all the time because it's printed on the sheet behind me, so it must be true. And can-do people are great performers. But interestingly enough, I know that most people have the best intentions when they make a New Year's resolution. And it's not just one resolution. Some people have a whole list. And we know what to-do lists happen, don't they? They just end up on the list. They never actually get done. But why don't we give our listeners something of a New Year resolution, but they can really focus on and they can really get involved with? Why don't we do that today?
It sounds like a plan, Neville. I think let's do that, and it will be very good, and it will be very insightful for the viewers.
Okay, well, let's do this. And the thing is, I'm going to tell you why New Year's resolutions don't work. Is because they're not well formed. There's no underlying purpose, and therefore they just don't happen. You don't put a plan in place. You don't have. It's like putting a business plan together. If it stays on the shelf, it gathers dust. If it's actually implemented, it has life. It has a living, and the business plan evolves. And same with New Year's resolutions. But let's give everybody, as I say, let's give everybody one thing that they can start with today. And that one thing is going to be very personal because that's what a New Year's resolution tends to be. But it's got bigger implications. So why don't we do something that actually will help an individual, but also help that individual perhaps in a team, at home. You could have a bit of fun with your kids here, or in a working environment for a small business where you are the boss, you're the owner, you're the leader, the manager, whatever you're going to call yourself, and you've got lots of employees around you. And clearly, you want the best from them, don't you? You want the best from your team, don't you, CK?
Absolutely right, Neville. We want everybody to be at 100% performance level.
Absolute, and happy at the same time, because we do know that when people are happy and they're really enjoying what they're doing, the day goes really quick and they're high performers. Bingo. We're on about performance today, so we're actually building the foundation of you developing into a can-do person. Okay, so we're going to play a game. Okay? Your children will love this game. Your friends will love this game. Your employees will love this game because the outcome is completely unknown. This is not like playing Monopoly or Cluedo or chess, where you get a winner and a loser. Everybody's going to win. That's not a bad game to play, is it?
Certainly not. I think it's going to be fun, and I am willing to present myself in front of you as a specimen. You can mold me.
Brilliant. So you are the guinea pig of the day. Okay. We're going to do this pretty fast. Okay. But what I would like you to do, CK, is I'd like you to think of a word that you would like to live by for this year. Just one word. Now, while you're thinking, I'm going to explain to the listeners a little bit more about this. Okay? In leadership terms, there's lots of these phrases that are on the walls, you know, teamwork, building together, pulling in the same direction. And we have all these wonderful words that people never really understand because it's not personal to them. So if you picked a word in the leadership arena like integrity, empathy, um, sustainability, it's a long word, don't think the long words are more difficult to remember. Um, fair, a friend, faithful, committed, all of these beautiful words that we want from people in our organization to show that they want to be with you. They want to be a friend. They want to work with you. So you've had a little bit of time, CK, right? You haven't had much time. You've had about 45 seconds while I've been saying that. So what one word, just one word, not a phrase, not a sentence, not a whole paragraph, you know, just one word that you would like to focus on and live by in 2021?
Well, I've done a lot of thinking in last 45 seconds, and while you were talking to the audience, and the word that struck me is empower.
Empower. Now, that's a brilliant word. It's 3 syllables, so it's a bit complicated. All right. Now, I'm being serious here, you know. The more complicated you make it, the more difficult it is to do, which is why New Year's resolutions don't happen. But we're now going to take this guinea pig a little bit further. Empower, CK. Okay. What does that mean to you? What does the word mean to you?
Well, while you were talking, I was thinking, what I will do this year, and I think one of the things very cut out for me for this year, considering my digital presence in the business, etc., and the amount of work we do extend beyond the company and goes up to the client and prospects. So I offer our solution and empower everyone so that they can do their business in a better way. So that was my logic of giving that word to you.
No, that's absolutely fantastic because what you did was you gave me a story. Now, a story is really important because we remember that story. And that story's fixed in our minds. So the more stories we have that reinforce that word, the easier it is to do it again. So my next question was going to be, how are you going to do this? How are you going to show this word empower is going to come out there every single time? Because remember, what I said was at the beginning, what word are you going to live by? So if I cut you in half, right? Not that I will, by the way. This is just purely hypothetical. If I cut you in half, it would say the word would be empower. If I cut you from head to toe, the word would be empower. You would see it. It would jump out at you. You've already told me how that's going to happen. So how is really important. And the more how you have, the easier it is for you to recognize when you are empowering people. Now, here's the challenge. Before you say something, how about empowering yourself? Because you were thinking in the third party, empower others, excite others, enable others to do things. Empower, excite, enable. That's 3 words for everybody. Okay. Those are 3 different words. Okay. But they're very well connected. Okay, CK. What about yourself? What about empowering yourself? How are you going to do that?
Well, I think I will, in my little mind, some certain examples are running. So I just break them down into 2 segments in order to just to give a proper answer to you. One is that uh, looking at the internal side of it, which is the company related. And the other is the external side, which is related to the clients and customers and prospects. So I think the whole resolution starts at home. And I would go first with the employees and try to empower them. Usually, what happens, Neville, is that in a company, we try to set up our boundaries and we ensure that these are the policies of the organization and everybody has to follow it. I think this year I would like to relax a bit because every employee has a sort of imagination, and maybe we can have something new because I think we are now reliving the moment in the new era. So we can relax this a bit and empower the employees so that they can come out with new ideas, and I should be open to listen to them. So that is first segment. The second segment is make all this innovation which is coming from the organization, which is myself included and all the team members, open to the clients, and probably do the same exercise with the client so they can think and they can tell us, how we can be more effective for them. And that is how I see the empowerment will benefit all of us as a community. Now, to answer your core question, how about empowering myself? So if I'm able to do these two things successfully, it will result in empowering me. This is my thinking, Neville.
So your how, if you like, is by giving empowerment to people and encouraging them to take empowerment. Encouraging, by the way, is another word. Okay, so there's an opportunity for you to take another word. Funny how all of these are E's, aren't they? But anyway, that's another story. But by the outside happening, you believe it will influence the inside.
I believe so because I think I would say that 60 to 80% of my time is devoted in this activity and 20% is devoted for other things. So I would say that if the majority of my time is spent in empowering others for the benefit of everyone, I think leaving aside the 20%, I feel that is the way to achieve the resolution for the new year.
And that's brilliant because what you've done is you've rationalized this. Okay. So you've given it the real how. And hopefully, in this very short session, this little coaching session, if you like, it's made a word become real. And I know you're thinking, you're holding back because you're thinking of lots of things. And you're trying to, for this particular video, you're trying to be specific. But like anything else, this might take about a day. Okay? Give yourself an opportunity. Let it go for a day. So to empower yourself, let everything else go. Give yourself some time to be able to think about this one word. And as we've established so far, it's not just the one word that you thought about, it's the context and how you're going to do it. Now, here's the next one. Okay? How are you going to get people to help you make this word live inside you and outside you? What would you like other people to do to help you? And I'm thinking now specifically about your team. Okay, I know you're desperate to get the words out, so I'm going to shut you down for a minute. You need to think, all right? Specifically about your team, but also about your social setting, your family, your kids. Because we don't work in a vacuum. Entrepreneurs don't work in a vacuum. They like to think they work in a vacuum, but they don't work in a vacuum. We work with other people. So if you're going to live by this word, you need to live by it, not just in your professional context, your entrepreneurial context, let's say, but also in your social context. So those two contexts, CK, how are you going to ask people to help you do it?
It is easier said than done, Neville.
Absolutely. Yep.
While you were talking, I was thinking, and you rightly, nailed me down by saying, "Hey, I will speak further," and you think. So I was thinking, and the thing is that when I say empower my employees, my team members, it is just a word. I'm saying that. I know for sure that at some point in time, I will circle back and saying that, "Hey, I told you empower," but it doesn't mean anything. I am the boss. I'm going to drive everything. And if you come up with an idea, I have the veto power to accept or reject. So I think that is where the dilemma is. It's not really empowering in the true sense. It's a very big exercise for myself and for the entire team and also for the client. It is not easy to empower people.
You're absolutely right. And let's focus on the business to start with, okay? Because there are ways of empowering people, and there are ways of recognizing that this is your word for the year, and this is what you want to be doing. This is what you believe in. And the point is, I know you believe that all of your employees should take more responsibility. Now, that's empowerment. But they don't understand necessarily that you want them to do that. So you could actually say to them, okay, I want you to take more responsibility. So I'm going to empower you to do that. But you're not going to put the company at risk. So what you could do is come up with a few ideas that perhaps we've tried before and not worked, or perhaps we haven't tried before and they should work. And then let's talk about it and let's see how we're going to do that. Now that is a way that you give responsibility and you give authority to them, because now you're asking them a question. You want their involvement, you want their expression, you want their engagement. And just imagine for one moment how that will make you feel if when you say it, they do it. Would that bring a big smile on your face? Or would it actually say, about time, you know? Oh, thank goodness, you know? The point is, this is about celebration as well. So you've heard me speak a little bit there. I'm trying to give you a little bit of time to think, because this is not easy. Not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And you would normally do this on your own.
One of the ways of empowering is in a practical situation is not telling them that, hey, I'm trying to empower you, please do this. What I will do instead is incentivize them, come up with a plan where with everything they do there is a little bit of incentives attached, so that the system becomes sort of automatic system where I don't have to really look at micromanage things or even macromanage things. There is an incentive attached for every new ideas. If it succeed, they will make it big. If they don't, then they don't lose anything also. So I think this is the way I'm thinking of implementing it.
And it's brilliant because you know your team. Just by saying to them, I want to empower you, frankly, is a waste of time. But by linking that empowerment, what will make them feel empowered? What will make them take responsibility? And you mentioned the word incentivization. That doesn't necessarily mean financial, it may be something else. But you're now relating your specific circumstance to how they feel, what's important to them. Now, just in this very short exercise, you can see how if I'd have asked you that question, CK, and I'd given you a few things to think about, you could go away in the corner and you could think about it for a day and just imagine where your thought process might have gone in a day, because you've gone an awful long way in 20 minutes. But we haven't stopped there, okay? This is a game, remember? It's a game that's got performance as a benefit at the end of it. Everyone's happier, people are more engaged. That's the key to the game, right? So there is an end game here. The end game is bringing the team together. So now you've done it for yourself. Now the big challenge. You bring your team together. You explain. I've been given this game to play, and I think it's a great game that we can do. The ultimate aim is to benefit you, because this has benefited me. I've had a lot of fun coming up with my part of the game. And my part of the game was to think of a word that was important to me. What word do I want to live by? Just one word, not a whole list of things. And you can explain this to your team. If you're a good team leader, they will know all of these words. They will see your daily inspiration that you send them, on an email or on their calendar as it goes through, they will know who you are. All right. But this is an opportunity to be very focused. And then you explain the game that you've played. And now you want them to play the same game. You want them individually to pick a word that's really important to them. And by the way, you need to give them some time to do this. Okay? So it may have taken you a day. Give them 2 or 3 days. Because they're not going to do it in isolation. They're going to go away with their best mate. And they're going to say, well, what word do you think I should have? And the other person will say, well, you're really passionate. So, why don't you use the word passionate? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. The thing is, what you're doing here is you're building team. You're building the team. You're getting them to communicate to each other in a way perhaps they've never done before. You're giving them the freedom to do it. CK, you're empowering them to do it, okay? So I'm using your word, okay? And I didn't know what your word was going to be today, but you are empowering them to go away and think about one word. And equally, you say the same thing. How are you going to do that? How will other people see it in you? What help could other people give you? Now, I say, do this over a process of 2 or 3 days, giving them a chance to think about it, and say, talk amongst yourselves, but we're going to have a team meeting on Friday. It's 2 o'clock, okay, by everybody. We'll spend a couple of hours having a bit of fun, just playing the game. Then you bring the whole team together. Everyone says their word, how it's going to happen, what it's going to mean to them, how other people can help them. And all of a sudden, in a team of 6 or 7 people, you've got 6 or 7 really important words. You've got maybe 7 better than before New Year's resolutions. Because these are New Year's resolutions that are going to work. They're going to be fixed. And why they're going to be fixed is because every time somebody does what they say they're going to do, you tap them on the back. You say, you're doing it again. Well done. Keep going. And just like anything else, this is just a smile. This is just being thankful that they're achieving their goal. And this is how goal setting could work. And the bottom line is, can-do people are great performers. You are building people into a can-do attitude. Because all the time they've got this word emblazoned on their forehead. And the interesting thing is, it was there before, but they didn't know it. Yeah, I saw a little smile on your face there because, yeah, of course it was there before. Now it's being focused upon. And the thing is, if you come together and play the game on a regular basis, you can incentivize them. You can play bingo, I did it 15 times last week. There's bragging here, which is funny and it's engaging. And then after a time, it becomes the norm. And then it becomes very serious because it's actually going to improve your business. And maybe, in a month or two's time, you pick another word because this is the game that never stops giving. You don't need to spend millions, thousands, or a penny on this game. You just need to be focused and have a bit of time. We should, by all rights, CK, we should put this up and make people pay $1 every time they look at this video. Because imagine the value that's going to come out of this to your organization. And the thing is, you and I know, CK, we have no idea what value means to these other people. But we do know if it generates one more contract that they weren't going to get, that's value. How much would you pay for that? is priceless. And I say this is a game that continually continues to give. We all love games, don't we?
Absolutely. I think that's a very good idea. Probably this time we will give for free. But
Absolutely, we're going to give it for free.
as you explained, this information is priceless. I think it's a fantastic idea, Naval, that you've given. And all the professionals, all the people who are working in the field should follow this process, even though they are alone. Solopreneurs can also do that, and a team managers can also do that. So I think it's a very good, insightful exercise that everyone should go. And it starts with resolution, but it need not end there. You're going to have a quarterly resolutions. So that's
Brilliant. And the other thing is, right, there's going to be a lot of people here that say, well, I'm not too sure that's going to work in my team. Fine, not a problem. Start at home.
right.
Start with your mates, do it over a cup of coffee. Just have a little bit of fun and just see where they take it, how they appreciate this. Of course, do it as a game. But be engaged, have a little bit of fun, do it with people that will give you honest feedback immediately. And then once you've done that, and it might, could take 2 or 3 iterations, doesn't matter. I can assure you it will work if you do it in the right way. And then take it into your organization. And when you're really confident, look at your supply chain. Look at your customers. Play the game with your customers. Now, that's a real challenge, okay? And it will be a bridge too far for many people to even think about that, because you're exposing yourself to your customer. But isn't that going to build your business?
In the new context, definitely the customers speak, or customer advice, or customer feedback is very important. So I think it should work. And we no longer can hide under the carpet thinking, hey, customers not even looking at us. So I don't think that is a criteria anymore. I think we should be open with the customers. That's my personal feeling.
Oh, I totally agree with you. But there you go, folks. This is our thought for the week, if you like. It's an opportunity to have a bit of fun. Play it with your family and kids. Kids love this. Kids love playing games. And the interesting thing is, I've played this many years ago with a group of young people, and it blew my mind. Some of the things that they were coming up with absolutely blew my mind. And I believe I'm a bit of a progressive thinker, but boom, 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 ideas were coming all over the place. So this is a simple one. As CK says, of course, this is free. We're giving it to you for free because we want you to succeed. Unlike many other people out there, we don't charge for our interviews. We don't charge for our advice. We want you to take it. And once you take it and run with it, you want more. That's when you can come back to us and we can look at real value opportunity together. So good luck, everybody. This is the first working week of the year. So make it count.
Thank you so much, Naval, for finding time and coming to this show. We will catch up with you again tomorrow on something very interesting.
My pleasure. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.